Hey friends, it's Courtney. Today we're going to be doing some pour art. We're just going to be kind of winging it today because we're doing a new technique that I've never tried before. So some of you might have been here when I did the beginner pour art about a month ago. So we're going to be learning a new technique. So we're going to take a break and we're going to focus the camera down on the canvas. All right, so things we need for this activity. I've got a small 6x6 canvas. I've got some paints already mixed up here. So what I'm basically doing is I'm using acrylic paint and I'm mixing it with this Floetrol, so it basically just makes the paint like super liquidy. That way also you're not using up a whole bunch of paint. So I've got 6 colors mixed up here, as you can see. So I just put a little bit of paint in the bottom of each cup, about 1/3 paint and 2/3 of the Floetrol, and I just mix it all up, each individually. And then another ingredient that I'm using is this silicone oil, so I just put a few drops in each cup. It is going to cause the cell effect that you see here in this one. I did this one earlier, so you can see the cells that pop up through there. That's because of the silicone oil. So what we're going to do first is I'm just going to start pouring some colors on. So in the pour art class I did, we put all of the colors into one cup, and then we just kind of poured it on there and kind of let it flow around. But this time, we're going to do like strips of paint across. So I'm going to start with yellow at the top. All nice and runny. And we'll go with some pink. Gonna get them kind of close up together there, the way they flow together. Let's put some red in. It's going to get a little bit messy, so prepare your area. Let's use some blue. Some teal. I'm going to put this right down the center of that one. And then I've got some dark blue. And then I think I'm going to put some light blue again at the very bottom. And it really does not matter what order you put these in. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to cover the canvas with the paint, just by kind of letting it drip down. Just trying to cover those edges. It's okay if it's not perfect. We're just trying to have fun here, learning as we go. All right. Now I've mixed up some black here, and I did not put any of the silicone oil in that, so it's nice and runny. I put a little bit of extra Floetrol in it to make it extra runny. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put a strip across the top. And then I think I'm going to put another strip down the middle too. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take, I'm using a piece of plastic. You can use like a piece of cardboard, or I used a file folder earlier on this one. Anything that's going to, we're basically going to be scraping the paint down. So I'm going to take this, I'm just going to scrape it like that. So you can see we've got the cells already coming through. There we go. All right. Look at that. So you can see the cells coming through. Just kind of rock it around to fill the edges. You can always take a popsicle stick and kind of cover the edges if you want to. I think I'm going to leave this the way it is because I'm afraid to mess it up, but I think it turned out pretty well. Another thing you can do is if you have a heat gun, you can go over it with a heat gun. It makes the cells expand a little bit more. So I think it turned out pretty good for one of our first ones. Thanks for joining me on this pour art adventure. So just a reminder, some of the products that I used today, Floetrol is what I used to make the paint more runny. It makes it more fluid and able to slide around on the canvas a little bit better. So I get that at Lowe's. And you can get them in this side, so it's pretty well. You can also get this on Amazon. And the silicone oil that I used is from Amazon. You can also get this from Hobby Lobby.